everyone, Big Pauly back for a brand new movie review. Yes, last night I had the opportunity to watch the new Spike Lee joint called The Five Bloods. Yes, on Netflix with my father. We watched it in 4K, which was glorious, and we really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm not too hot on previous Spike Lee movies. You know, I've maybe only seen one. But this was really good. It kind of felt, in a way, it was like two movies into one. Basically, what the story is about is these four Vietnam veterans, African Americans, that decide to go back to Vietnam to collect the remains of their squad leader, who was killed back in the 70s, and also to retrieve some gold as well that's still buried. The film stars Delroy Lindo, as well as a whole host of other brilliant actors. The casting was great. Everybody put in overdrive, and I was very happy with the casting of the film. The pacing was also really good. Never got bored. It's a long film. It's about 2.5 hours long. There's a few nods thrown in there to Apocalypse Now. And as these four friends start their journey from America and then go through, through Vietnam, we see the changing landscapes. The film is beautifully shot. Cinematography is really great, especially at the jungle scenes, going up the river, through Vietnam. And the camaraderie between these four friends is fantastic. Something that I didn't think I would like is that throughout the film, they use 3 different aspect ratios, which I've never seen in a film before. The first aspect ratio is 4:3, and that's to show kind of like flashbacks to, back to when they were out there in Vietnam, which looks like a cross between like MASH and an old 70s Vietnam War film, some grain. The music is fantastic in those scenes. Reminds me of old 70s war films. You also get the standard 235 shot, 235 by 1 for the main scenes, and you also get full screen 185, and that, I believe, possibly would have been IMAX scenes if the film had gone to the cinema. I've heard a few people say that this is kind of 2 films in one. It does feel that way. The first part of the film is these 4 friends meeting up. They go on this journey back to Vietnam, and you expect them to, just take this hiking trip through the mountains and through the forests and, pick up their comrade, grab the gold and go home. But then halfway through the film turns into a current war film with a group of soldiers that insist that the gold belongs to their country. So the first half of the film reminds me of the Robert De Niro movie Las Vegas, where these 4 elderly friends go to Vegas for a stag do. But in this case, it's replaced by 4 elderly friends going back to Vietnam. The banter between all 4 characters is really great. Then the last half of the film kind of turns into Rambo. It does work, but it kind of throws you off in a few places. But I really had a good time with it, thoroughly enjoyed it. There's some great action shots. There's a few holy crap moments that are thrown in for extra measure. A few moments that I wasn't expecting. But other than that, really enjoyed it. Yeah, the cast were great. I'm not too familiar with 3 of the elderly veterans that go back. But Delroy Lindo, I've seen him in a few things, but I've never noticed he's acting this good before. I think I've watched him in maybe The Good Wife, the TV show. Either The Good Wife or its spin-off, I can't remember. but he was in that for quite a bit. But yeah, fantastic actor. He really pulled it out. The other three were clearly going back to get their comrade and to get the gold, whereas Delroy's character Paul was clearly going back because he's still there. He's still in Vietnam. He never left. It's kind of his private war, and you know, he has to face his demons. But yes, fantastic. Loved it. Loved the music. The picture quality was incredible, especially when it went IMAX size, you know, 185, and filled the entire screen. The quality of like the jungle and the dirt was absolutely crystal clear. Absolutely fantastic picture quality. I do hope this gets a physical release, because it is something that I would want to purchase on the physical. There are some scenes that are a little bit hard to watch, whether it be photographs or video of old Vietnam footage, and how American soldiers, black American soldiers, were treated and what they had to contend with back then. But there's also scenes of like slaughtered Vietnam children and things like that. So just to be aware that it can be quite hard on the eyes at points. But other than that, really enjoyed the film. Okay, so how would I rate The Five Bloods on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm going to give it 8 gold bars. Yes, I think it deserves 8 gold bars. It is a really good cinematic trip through Vietnam, through history. And it's a shame it never got a cinema release, because I think it would have looked quite special on the big screen. But if you've got Netflix, give it a go. So I hope you enjoyed my review of The Five Bloods by Spike Lee. It's available on Netflix now, so why not watch it? Like the video by giving it some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. And I shall see you on the next movie review. Bye!